Speaking of C+.
Yeah, speaking of C+, Jurassic Park, guys.
No fucking way you put that in C+.
No, he didn't.
There's no way.
Shut up.
I fucking
Jurassic
love this
Park.
movie.
Yeah, this is, yeah. So, last week was, the, 30th year anniversary of Jurassic Park, which is why I chose it. And also, it just so happens to be my favorite movie of all time.
There we go. This man knows what he's talking about. Woo!
Let me just run through my notes here. I didn't actually take that many, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I think our opening sequence with them putting the raptor in the cage,
Yeah, the raptor.
the raptor in the cage and whatever, I think it's a fantastic opening. It grabs your attention. It says, oh, dude, prepare yourself, something fucked up, and there's dinosaurs, and I think it's just a great way to open a movie and get your attention so that they can then, do the expository parts of the movie that they need to do.
Yeah.
The visuals are starting to show their age.
Now hang on here just a second,
Yeah.
Tanner. Just a fucking second.
Oh, no.
You gotta go through the plot a little bit here first, Tanner.
Oh, do you want me to? We didn't. Okay, I guess we did do that for the last one. It didn't have a plot.
Exactly.
Damn.
So, opening scene, they're putting a raptor in a cage. It fucks up. Guy gets grabbed. Shoot her! I love that scene.
Forever emblazoned in my mind.
Then we're at a mine in Cuba.
So some South American
We're at
country.
some kind of South American dig site where a lawyer shows up. And based on the dialogue, I'm unclear on why the lawyer needed to go to the mine. But anyway,
he's generally checking out the whole process of their whole operation, basically, because he's...
Sure. Anyway, we learn there's this park. The investors are worried about it. They need experts to check it out. They mention Dr. Alan Grant, and they find some amber with a mosquito in it, which will become important later. Mm-hmm. Cut to, we're in the Badlands of Montana, where Dr. Alan Grant has a dig site. They shoot... I'm getting too in the weeds here. They find a velociraptor. They're digging for it. Hammond shows up in his helicopter like, turn the fucking helicopter off. We got sand out here. Hammond is a quirky old man, very congenial and whatever. He's like, hey, I need you and your hot... fucking Dr. Ellie Sattler, that's her name.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I need you
weeds.
I need you two to come look at my thing, please, and I'll give you money. And they're like, okay. Also, like, this is a classic, like, women used to look so old. Ellie Sattler is, like, 26 in this movie, I think.
I was about to
There's
say,
no
she's
fucking
hot,
way.
dude. Come on.
She looks like one of my friends' fucking, like, 50-year-old moms.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really funny.
They're talking about having kids
Anyway.
and shit. I'm like, girl, you going through menopause already.
Cut to a helicopter?
Yes.
I believe so. We're in a helicopter flying. We're introduced to Ian Malcolm, our quirky little e-boy.
Yeah.
What the fuck
I'm gonna leave
is
his
he? Why is
description
he there?
He's a philanthropist.
I think he's just famous, I guess.
I don't remember. Philosopher. That's the word I was looking for, not
No,
philanthropist.
he's not a philosopher. He's a chaostician or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
I don't think he invented chaos theory. He's just a big name in it for
Nature
whatever
finds
reason.
a way!
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, he's Jeff Goldblum. He's very Jeff Goldblum.
He is
They
Jeff
land,
Goldblum.
get in the truck, they're driving around. They're like, what the fuck kind of park is this, John Hammond? And he's like, look over there. And we see kind of a bad dinosaur. We see a long-necked dinosaur. It's all CG. And yeah, that's the point I was bringing up before I start going into the plot here. The CGI visuals are becoming a bit dated. Granted, I've seen worse even today, but you can very much tell it's a fake dinosaur. You're like, that's a fake dinosaur. I think the same goes for the Gallimimus. They look pretty rough.
They're better than a lot more puppetry we see going on, though, in my opinion. That's just me.
Hard disagree, but we will get there when we get there.
Sure.
Then they show up to the visitor center. They run into the grandkids. Grandpa! Wait, no, they don't. That's later.
That's after the tour.
Forget about that. Yeah, they do their little thing explaining how the science of it works. And this isn't in the book, But I thought this is a super creative way of getting the sciencey, here's how it happened so you can stop thinking about it bullshit out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying if you guys were like, yeah, I agree.
I also agree. They grounded in reality, which is appreciated for a movie like this.
Yeah, instead of like, this works because we say it does bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. That's way later. Okay, so, we get the sciencey explanation. All the dinosaurs are girls, so they can't reproduce. Then they're leaving the visitor center. They run into the grandkids. They're like, we're going to give you the tour so you can see it. And, spared no expense. He keeps saying that. That's one of his lines.
I think we hit 10 times.
And he says it many times. They get in these special cars on rails, and they're electric. In 1993? What?
Crazy.
Anyways. They're driving along. They drop by the Dilophosaurus exhibit. There's no Dilophosauruses. They're all sleeping. Damn it. Fucking Christ, where are our dinosaurs? Stop by the Tyrannosaurus. They are like, hey, let's put a goat out there. Maybe he'll eat the goat. Nothing happens. They move on, and then they fucking jump out of the car after a small explanation of what chaos theory is. And they're like, look, it's a sick Triceratops. Now, I disagree, Dylan. I think the puppetry looks fucking great. This fake-ass Triceratops looked awesome.
That's what I was saying. Dylan, during that scene, was talking about, that looks like garbage. I was like, what are you talking about? That thing looks great.
What?
With its eyeball that moves around, and it's got the eye boogers and everything.
No,
what looks bad about
Nico's
it?
fucking capping right now.
Oh.
That's not true.
Anyway, enough with the gaslighting. Continue, Tanner.
Anyway, they have a moment with this dinosaur. It's very cute. It like spooks Lex, the girl. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't like the dinosaurs because I'm a female. Then Ellie Sattler is like, what the fuck? Why is it sick? I'm gonna figure this out. And then we get a great, Jeff Goldblum line where that's one big pile of shit. And it's very funny that this is in 1993 because if this were in a movie today, we'd be like, okay, they put that in the movie because they want people to make memes out of it. But no, memes didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what point I'm making with that. But then there's a hurricane coming. And they get back in the cars to head back. And, I missed the scene where we are introduced to Dennis Nedry, the, programmer, the system administrator of the whole park. They've got one guy to do it,
he's a
I
fucking
guess.
hacker, dude.
And that's him. And Jackson, do you feel seen by Dennis Nedry?
No.
Okay. Anyway, he meets with Dodson. He's like, hey, you're gonna steal the fucking embryos, but for some reason the embryos look like little vials of green liquid. I didn't quite understand that. But alas, Dennis springs his plan into action where he's gonna shut down the park, steal the embryos, get in the ship, and sail off to fame and fortune, but not fame, only fortune. Anyway, he just so happens to shut them down while they're outside the Tyrannosaurus pit, and they're like, huh? Damn, I guess we'll just sit here. And then, eventually they're like, fuck, he shut off the electric gates. Why would he do that? And Dennis, he's getting away. T-Rex, boom, escapes from the thing. Our first big action moment with the T-Rex. It's roaring. The lawyer runs into the bathroom. It's putting the thing around. I think the T-Rex, even when it's CG, looks very good pretty consistently throughout the movie. I think this whole scene is fucking great. A particular shot I love that I thought was very creative of them was when it's with the sky roof, I guess, is what they'd be called. And they're looking at the T-Rex up there, and it comes down, and we have that shot where we're seeing from the back seat of the car, and they're like trying to hold the glass up as it's trying to get at them.
Yeah.
That shit was cool as fuck. Yeah. Rex looks good.
Either way, I definitely think you're going into significantly too much detail here. You can definitely trim this down a lot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been like 5 minutes and we're only halfway through the movie. Okay,
you're right. Rex attacks. Ian Malcolm gets knocked out. It eats the lawyer. Fun. Cool. Alan Grant saves a girl. Kid put in tree. He saves the kid. They are now trapped in the park and have to go do something. At some point, Ellie Sattler and Muldoon, I think, was with her. They manage to retrieve Malcolm. They go back to the visitor center. They're chased by the Rex, and it's like, wow. And then Grant and the kids are now just in the park, and they're like, fuck. And so they set out to get back to the visitor center.
Yeah.
All the while, Malcolm, Hammond, Sattler, and Samuel L. Jackson, whose name I don't remember the character name of, they are trying to figure out how do we get the park back online. In the meantime, Dennis Nedry is killed by a Dilophosaurus. It is a very funny scene, and we're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, basically.
That fat piece of shit. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, the kids and Grant, they're having bonding time. They're having fun little moments. They happen across a Gallimimus herd that's running, and there's a T-Rex. For the most part, they're pretty good. They're going back. There's a scene where, like, they're climbing an electric fence. Meanwhile, Ellie Sattler, they figure out, okay, if we just shut the whole thing down, bring it back on, turn the power back on, we'll be golden. And so they send the guy, Samuel L. Jackson, out to do it. It doesn't happen. They're like, well. So they send Ellie Sattler out with Muldoon because the Raptors had gotten out at some point. Oh, because they shut it down. They're like, fuck, the Raptors are out. So they go out, they're going to the power station, they're like, fuck. Muldoon's like, fuck. The Raptors are fucking watching us, I'm gonna kill them. Run. Action. She's running. The shaky monster cam is chasing her, and then she makes it into the power station. Turns the power on, has a jump scare with Jackson's arm. Raptor is chasing her, she gets out, Muldoon is killed. When she turns the power on, the kid gets fucking zapped. They all make it back to the visitor center. The kids have our next, I'd say, big action scene where the Raptor's in the kitchen with the kids. It's very cool, very suspenseful, very, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna see these kids get their entrails devoured? No, because this is a Steven Spielberg movie. Anyway. And then we have, sort of a showdown where it's like, Grant, Sattler, and the kids against the Raptors, and we're like, oh no, they're fucked. And then somehow the T-Rex sneaks up on them and eats the Raptor, and they're fighting, and they run out, and they all get in the helicopter, and they fly off. The end. Did I miss anything? I feel like I missed something.
No, not at all. You didn't miss a single detail.
For sure pretty much all the detail we could ever need for this film, Tanner. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the shut the fuck up.
There was one.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it.
I definitely think the visuals for this film have really stood the test of time overall for the most part. There are a few scenes here and there where it's like, ooh, that's a little oh yikes. However, for the most part,
that's a CG dinosaur.
I think it looks pretty great, especially them big old puppets, you know. However, there's one thing I really want to talk about here with this film. Now, you see, it's constantly touted. The thing they constantly talk about in this movie is like, hey, man, you gotta be careful with nature. It's not something you can just play around with, you know? Like, it always finds a way, doesn't it? It's always able to figure shit out. You can't contain it. But it doesn't, okay? That's not how the hijinks ensue in this film. It's just some fat piece of shit who does it, okay? He's the reason everything goes to fucking Kingdom Come, you know? It's his fault. It's not them.
They do also show that they did figure out how to fucking breed with just the females too, which so it could have expanded into a bigger problem if left untouched without that guy.
That's not the core of the conflict of the movie where it all stems from.
Nico, they can open doors, so...
I think that's more of like the aspect of people are trying to like the movie's trying to angle that to like blow that off as like bullshit. I guess they're just trying to get them to be like, yeah, whatever, fucking nature finds a way. That's some bullshit. Who cares, kind of thing. Because that's how I feel. Like, not that I think it's a poor spot in the movie, but like whenever I watch this movie, I always blow it off as some kind of bullshit, and it ends up working out in the end. So I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure, Nico, that's why they introduced the whole chaos theory thing. I don't think they're saying. Like, I think they're saying nature is in, like, kind of all of existence.
Yeah, nature is humans as
well.
And
so Dennis's whole thing, like counts in their calculus.
He is nature. His greed
fucked
everything over.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, It's just saying it's inevitable that there be some scenario that would cause this to go wrong, regardless of like what that scenario specifically is.
Yeah.
Well, then I think that's just fucking bullshit, dude. That's stupid.
The greed of human nature caused the death of all these people.
That's like humanity's fault, then. That's not
That's
nature.
That's still nature, though. That's still nature. Humans, people are part of nature.
Start pardoning,
When you're talking about like a fucking human versus nature dynamic, you're not equating like the fucking mean streets of LA to that. If
wait, when did this become humans versus nature, though?
What the fuck are you talking about? It's the entire
dinosaurs are trying to kill people.
He just said nature finds a way. What does it have to do with humans versus nature?
Yeah, you're right, Dylan. I don't know what that could have anything to do with it.
Anyway, regardless, I think we should just move on to the rankings unless anybody else...
I got one last thing.
There's so much more that could be said.
I agree with everything Tanner said so far, so I don't really have anything to contribute to this. What do you mean, of course I would? I fucking love this movie. Fuck off.
Exactly.
Everyone loves
that
this movie.
That has nothing to do with Tanner saying it.
Both of you shut up. I'm done with this argument. I thought it was very funny. Obviously they did this for visual reasons, but I find it hilarious that the entire park's infrastructure is run on this super clunky and just bad GUI instead of just like fucking program menus or some shit.
Yeah, I might joke about that as well. Like, why the fuck you had to go and navigate some 3D space and click on shit, zoom into like the specifics of it? Makes no sense. Just make it like a list of buttons.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I would imagine, I'm hoping at least,
it's advanced technology.
That I'm going under the bit that they're obviously throughout this entire movie they're trying to show that the park staff is like totally incompetent in a lot of ways. Things are totally just failing constantly. They made like a huge effort to show this, and I'm going under the assumption that was part of it. This is like some super obtuse system for no fucking reason, just because it's some super obtuse system, or maybe they're just trying to be like, this is some scientific shit.
Yeah, I think the latter is probably what they were going for.
I do think it was just for the audience watching the movie. We're like, well, they're gonna be bored if they're watching the girl just go through fucking like
lines of code,
the command prompt. So they had to make a visual thing for it.
Plus, it's more believable for her to know what a fucking 3D rendered fucking navigation shit for computer is, rather than looking at lines of code that's...
What are you talking about, man? She's a hacker.
Yeah,
she said so herself.
I don't know. I think it's more realistic
don't you remember?
You guys aren't
a hacker.
You guys aren't thinking of the long term. How are they going to hire high teenagers to work all their minimum wage jobs if it's coding? Come on.
Hey, that's in the sequels, man. You calm down.
I thought it was pretty funny though when they're like, so how are you gonna fix this bug? And it's like, oh yeah, man, I gotta go and look through like all 3 million lines of code or something in this whole system. Like, dipshit, what do you fucking mean you gotta go look through the entire code base? That's stupid as fuck. This guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Is that guy a programmer too?
I assume he's doing all the programming for the whole system and then also like administering it. That's what it seemed like he was doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's your guys' favorite character in this movie?
Gosh, I don't know, man. I don't really have a favorite.
I like the clever girl.
Yeah, I like her too.
My favorite is Muldoon.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I think he's badass.
I think he's pretty cool.
What I like about him is he acts as kind of a foil to Hammond, where like Hammond is obvious. His fatal flaw is that he's super overconfident, and he's like, yeah, I got this whole thing under control, but he's very ignorant of what the actual danger is here.
Yeah.
Muldoon is kind of different because we're like, his downfall is also arrogance, but he is fully aware of how dangerous the situation is.
Yeah.
So it's like his own personal overconfidence that does him in.
I guess so.
At the end of the day, I think it's trying to illustrate no human is capable of taking on a dino.
I wouldn't say so.
True. I don't think I could take on a velociraptor.
Yeah,
except for Chris Pratt.
Give me a Hellstorm missile and
and a way to fire it.
Yeah, I can't believe that none of these people just thought to put their hands up in front of the velociraptors, and that's supposed to stop them,
Exactly.
I have reasons. Anyway.
It's foolproof.
Yeah.
Is that what happens in the fucking later ones? I feel like I saw that in a trailer or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
For some reason, they put it in the first Jurassic World, and then for some reason with all the sequels, we're like, well, that's a staple of the fucking series now. We gotta have everyone do that at every possible opportunity.
Do you know how much that got fucking memed, Tanner? That shit was crazy.
Anyways,
they should have.
Does anyone
more
else
people
have any
climbing.
favorite characters?
No.
They should have more climbing into tree scenes because that worked really well.
I guess so.
True.
We ranking?
Dylan loves Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum's a pretty cool guy. I think he's very charismatic.
I think he's getting a little too high for his britches, you know?
Yeah, Ian Malcolm's actually probably my favorite character.
Okay.
That's about it. Jackson, what do you rank this movie?
I'm gonna give it an A+.
Let's go.
That's significantly higher than I expect you to give it.
I thought it was pretty fucking good. I thought it was really enjoyable. I thought the setup for the actual plot itself was pretty good. It was really well thought out, I thought, and I think they really stuck to their theme of, you know, showing that this park is pretty incompetent. They have the fucking owner that's really overconfident about everything. I think they stuck to that really well. I think honestly the CG looked pretty bad, but the practical effects were pretty fucking good, especially for its time.
The Dilophosaurus looks really fucking good.
I agree, and I was never really bored throughout the entire movie. Honestly, I was pretty engaged throughout most of it. There was some stupid stuff that happened, obviously, but you know, I thought for the most part it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Tanner, how about you, man?
I'm giving it an S+.
Of course,
No fucking way. There's no way.
Dylan,
Nico?
how about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Tanner, give me a high five, brother, because I'm also giving this movie an S+. Yeah, buddy! Let's hear it, Nico. Let's hear it.
Unfortunately, I don't believe I'm going to be able to get out of S here. Because, like, you know, like, it's a good movie and all. I just don't see why it's really stood the test of time as much as it had. I mean, like, I can get why it stood the test of time. I just don't think it's that amazing, okay? I think it's like an A-.
I'm surprised
it being an A tier is still pretty good.
I think the fact that it wasn't like the CGI and the puppetry wasn't terrible even to this day after 30 years says a lot about the movie.
Yeah, I think it's funny that some of the CG is like literally better than some shit we see today. Like I would argue that some of the CG was better than the shit we saw in the fucking Mist. And obviously that wasn't like a modern movie, but still.
Yeah.
I think all the CGI is better than what we see in the Mist.
I don't know how to gauge CGI still, so...
Regardless, that does in fact put it at an S tier at a solid S-.
Damn it, that was going to be one of my picks too, and I would have had my first S tier movie. This is bullshit.
Rip.